All right, so today's a big day. If you guys don't know, Daddy Issues just dropped on Beleaf In Fatherhood, and hopefully it's doing well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check it out and then come back to this video. This is going to be the director's cut or the breakdown of Daddy Issues. I will be playing the video back on my iPad and giving you my live breakdown of the shot selection, the BTS moments, what went into everything. So let's go ahead and break it down right now. Start the screen recording. 3, 2, 1. And before we even start the video, so this is the title card, right, or the title screen. So it shows, of course, Beleaf In Fatherhood, or Beleaf, official music video, Daddy Issues, directed by Courtney Hill, me, blah blah, 2517 Productions. We actually filmed this back in February. Found this pier space in downtown LA, and this title screen is kind of really inspired by Quentin Tarantino. If you notice, a lot of his title cards, like Jackie Brown, Inglourious Bastards, I believe, a lot of his titles, Kill Bill, there's a lot of yellow, and typically the title itself is really big and takes up a decent portion of the frame. So this is kind of a Tarantino inspired frame. If you guys, actually, another Easter egg for you, if you didn't know, my favorite movie is Pulp Fiction, and coincidentally, or really the name of my company was inspired by a scene in Pulp Fiction where Julius says, Ezekiel 25:17, the path of the righteous man, blah blah blah. He goes on a spiel and shoots the gun, blah blah. So 2517 Productions, that's where that came from, if you guys didn't know that. But that's this title screen here is inspired by Tarantino. It's one of my favorite creators, genius mind. But yeah, also aside from the title itself, if you guys look, this frame is a frame of a frame within a frame, right? So we're actually looking in the mirror, and I use reflections in this scene, and then also there's a couple other callbacks throughout the music video where typically when you're looking at a reflection, or the character itself is being viewed through a reflection, it's kind of like an internal conflict, or it kind of just shows that internal reflection, or like this is who I am, or who I want to be, or who I am in this moment. And in this moment, he's actually being a father. He's cutting his son's hair, and we all know in Black culture, cutting hair, barbershop, everything like that. It's kind of like a proving ground. It's like the watering hole for young Black men. You go there, you hear stories, you gain guidance, you learn about yourself, you learn who you are, who you don't want to be. You're able to communicate and go back and forth with people and build. So he's building with his son in this frame. But let's get into the actual video. Let's play it now.
I've been trying to get down and lay down. I've been trying to get down and lay down. I've been trying to get down.
Also, you'll notice throughout this video, there'll be moments where you'll see them like hitting a punching bag. It's really just to signify the battle of growing up. You see his son Uriah punching the punching bag. You'll see him punching the punching bag, and it's kind of like showing that duality of, growing up, and having those daddy issues, interacting with your father and not interacting with them, fighting, internally, externally. So that's where all the boxing comes from. And also, actually, Glenn had told me on set that he was getting Uriah, into boxing a little bit. So he was really comfortable with the punching bag. That was something that I wanted Uriah to do when we got there. And he just gravitated to it naturally. I didn't even have to direct him or anything. He just went straight to the punching bag, and we were just filming him, getting B-roll of him filming, or punching the punching bag. So it worked out perfectly.
I've been trying to get down and lay down. I've been trying to get down. I've been trying to get down and lay down with Papa's plans. Started out with family, now all I got is fans. I'm still trying to redefine what it is to be a man. Catch me with the praying hands when I'm in the jam. All I know is that I'm saved and I still got.
So for this production, I actually used my Sony FX9, which is used for about 95% of these shots, this one included. This is one of the first music videos that I actually filmed. Oh, not one of the first. It's not the first, but one of the first music videos that I filmed with this camera. And I actually really wanted to, see how it performed in this environment with these harsh highlights coming through the window. I wanted to test the dynamic range and really put it through its paces. The second camera that we used was the Alexa Mini LF. I use it for a lot of the BTS, and then also some of the B-roll shots throughout this music video. And for this setup, we're pretty much just accepting all that backlight from the natural window. And then also we have an airy sky panel coming in left of camera, and that's kind of his key, and he's like, you know, backlit. But yeah, this is one of the main performance scenes throughout the music video. You'll see it a few times.
All I know is that I'm saved and I still got.
It's another shot that I liked. I actually found a frame online from a movie, and it was actually, what movie was it? Off the top of my head, I don't know if it was Queen and Slim. It was one of those movies, but it was kind of like a self-reflection, almost like a therapy shot, I guess you could say. Like, you know, laying down on the couch, laying back, reflecting, kind of voicing your concerns, and, you know, going through the process of healing. So that's kind of what this shot was supposed to represent. For this shot, we're just accepting all that natural light coming in from the window. I think we're using the sky panel as a fill a little bit underneath the back of his head and the right side of his face. And then on the opposite side of the couch by the arm is actually a Pavo nanlite Pavo tube that I put back there, and I calibrated to like 3200 Kelvin, so it's a little bit warmer behind the couch. But yeah, so this shot, you know, is supposed to just reflect, you know, self-reflection, you know, laying down, you know, assessing the landscape and seeing how you feel and healing.
All I know is that I'm saved and I still got hands. All I know is that I'm saved. I know some stepdaddies who go harder than fathers, and a lot of baby daddies who go harder than others, and a lot of children gotta deal with man hold on they broken hearts for like broken records.
And for everyone that is here from the SLR Magic videos, you guys know that I have like 5 SLR Magic lenses, and for this shoot I actually used the 50 and the 25mm because I didn't have the other lenses in time. But this frame, this shot, and a lot of the other shots that are in this corner are from the SLR Magic 50 and 25. I was really impressed with the flares. I think it just had more character than a lot of the other shots in this video. I used the Sigma 24-70 Art 2.8 lens for autofocus and stuff like that. And I think on the Alexa there's like some Sigma Prime Cine lenses, but the SLR Magic just really gave more of like a nostalgic grit to it. I really like the character that came through with these lenses. But yeah, this was one of my favorite shots in the whole music video. To show you not on your own. I come from where you come from. Don't. I really also like this shot because it once again it shows the mirror, which, you know, represents self-reflection. You know, we already covered that. I like the mirror there, and then also like all the negative space right at camera. I like the framing here, giving them a lot of headspace. I've been inspired lately by a lot of the Insecure shots. A lot of the cinematography in Insecure is amazing, and I enjoyed watching a lot of the BTS and the thought process behind all that. But this frame, I wanted it to have a lot of headspace, showing that he has room to grow. You know, that's what that symbolizes in my brain when I look at it and when I was framing it. So he has a ways to go above him until he is who he wants to be as a father, as a man. So that's what this frame represents for me. As far as how we filmed this shot, so this is locked off FX9. I want to say, was this the, I don't think this was SLR Magic. This was the Sigma, the 24-70 art lens. And then we have a big V flat on right of camera to block most of that natural light coming in. And then we have the airy sky panel as a subtle fill. It's not even blasting too high. This room was kind of challenging to film in because it looked a lot bigger on the Peerspace website. But it was kind of small. It was a decent amount of size for us to get all the gear in there, of course. But there weren't a lot of angles or a lot of things we could do to manipulate the room because I had that giant wall, which had its pros and cons. But then also there was a spiral staircase that we used to get some top-down angles. But this frame is really powerful. I like the separation between him and the wall. It's really drab behind him, and his color palette on his clothes pop. So there's a lot of separation there. But yeah, let's keep going.
No, you're not alone. I know it's sad that you grew up home without a dad. And let me be the proof that you can be more than you had. I know you're tired and it's hard to believe in God. And when you're feeling close to death, Jesus is feeling far. I know you fake it for your friends and you feel like a fraud.
This was one of the only frames for the performance scenes that was shot on the Alexa Mini LF. And yeah, visibly, you probably don't tell a difference throughout the entire video what was shot on what, which is great because we used a variety of lenses and 2 different cameras. But one thing I can say about the Alexa Mini LF is that it renders skin and motion a little bit differently than other cameras. I still prefer the colors out of the FX9 because I feel like the Alexa Mini, it took a lot for me to take a lot of the magenta out of his skin tone. It didn't fare too well on black skin, and that's something I've seen before too in past tests. But yeah, of course all that can be manipulated in post. We didn't shoot raw or anything for this. This was all log, and I used a few phantom LUTs to get the desired look and some tweaking and all that stuff too. But I think it all came out great, and it was a good pairing between the FX9 and the Alexa Mini LF.
I know you're trying to stay out of trouble and do your job, but if we don't break the cycle, then our future's at odds. Let me tell you where it starts, in your daddy your shoes.
These photos were amazing. Shout out to Brittany for coming through. She's my wife's friend, now my friend, and she took some amazing photos behind the scenes. You'll see them sprinkled throughout this video. You've probably also seen them on my Instagram because they're fire. She got some really dope photos. I hope to work with her again in the future. But yeah, she captured some beautiful moments between Uriah and Glenn, and it was awesome. Shout out Brittany. I'll leave her links down below.
Cause if I got him, I know you got him. Somebody pass the tissues. If you need shoulders to cry on, never had nobody to rely on. Got daddy issues. Cause if I got him, I know you got him. Somebody pass the tissues. If you need shoulders to cry on, never had nobody to rely on. I've been trying to get down and lay down with Papa's plans. Started out with family.
This was my absolute favorite frame from the Alexa Mini LF. I brought it down to black and white just to have some color contrast between all the other shots in the music video. So there are a couple black and white scenes. Some of the photos are black and white. A lot of the B-rolls are black and white. And man, this just felt like Macbeth with Denzel Washington, like black and white. They also use, I believe, an Alexa Mini LF to film that. But just in black and white, stripping the color out of this, and you really just get to see the texture. You see the sweat. This is just a beautiful shot. And then Uriah is actually wiping the sweat off his forehead. And this was actually impromptu. So this was just a natural moment between him and Uriah. And he's asking to help him out, wipe the sweat off my head. And I felt like it was very symbolic of in this video, there's a lot of duality of Uriah also represents not only his son, but kind of like a younger version of him, like growing from boy to man. And this is, cause in my mind, this represents your youth, of the boy in you helping you out, cleaning you off, help mold you into who you are today. But yeah, beautiful shot. I love the symbolism here. Let's keep going.
Now all I got is bangs. I'm still trying to redefine what it is to be a man. Catch me with the praying hands when I'm.
And then right after that, we go back to Glenn sharpening up his son, molding him into who he wants him to be, or helping him, guide him into finding himself, equipping him with the tools in order to succeed. That's what a lot of this represents here. Going from Uriah helping Glenn to Glenn helping Uriah. It's just a good pairing, and that shot was also pretty intentional.
All I know is that I'm safe and I still got
another mirror shot, reflection. We already went through that, but just calling out again. Also, shout out to these cameras, man. The dynamic range on both of these cameras is phenomenal. I was able to pull a lot of detail from that window. Any other camera that would have just been that would have been heaven. That would have been heaven in the frame if any other camera with poor dynamic range. But both these cameras are fire. This was actually on the FX9 right here, this shot.
All I know is that I'm safe and I still got hands. All I know is that I'm safe and I still got hands.
Both of these are from the Alexa Mini LF, punching back, fighting through, to grow. This There's a lot of symbolism in a lot of these frames, but this was beautiful. I had to, this probably made it into the third edit when I was like, man, I need to show them together doing this in one frame, to kind of hit home the message in the video. It might be subtle, it might be obvious to a lot of people, but I just wanted to have them stacked on the same frame, showing that growth and that it's still a battle even when you become a man.
All I know is that I'm safe. I've been trying to get down and lay down with Papa's plan. Started out with family, now all I got is fame. I'm still trying to redefine what it is to be a man. Catch me with the brands when I'm in the can. All I know is that I'm saved and I still got hands. All I know is that I'm saved and I still got hands. All I know is that I'm saved and I still got hands. All I know is that I'm saved. All I know is that I'm saved. All I know is that I'm saved. All I know is that I'm saved.
Man, shout out to SLR Magic for them flares. Also, there's a few different versions. Another fun fact: there's a few different versions of this song that came out or that were edited and chopped and mixed and mastered and put in Dolby Atmos up until the release of it. So, like I said, we filmed this back in February, and we're now in what the fuck month is it? April, June, July, August. It's August. But yeah, there's a few different versions of the song. With slightly different chorus, different instruments added in. I really enjoyed this last frame, and I kind of held on it a little bit longer. It just shows that mental, just contemplating, self-reflection, a moment to himself at the end of all this, chaos frames, and the whole music video, all the song's over. So now this is just a vulnerable moment where he can have a moment to himself and just think and contemplate and soak in the reality of, what's happening, what he's going through. That's the end of that. Great music video, great project overall. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's a few firsts for me. It was the first time working with Glenn in this capacity. We actually met a few years back on a different project that I was just assisting on, but it came full circle. When I first met him, I was like, yeah, I shoot music videos. He's like, he obviously does music. We always said that we would do something together, and this was the first project that we've done together. And then also was the first time me working with an adolescent on set. And shout out to Brittany. She was the feminine energy we needed at many moments. She kind of guided Uriah to, sit here, do this. She also really was like an assistant director in some cases, especially for a lot of the Uriah shots. She of course let him do him, but guided him for photo opportunities. She was directing all the photography on set for the stills. And then also this was my first time editing a video in HDR. So that was inspired by the guys over at TLD Sun Square. They've been doing a lot with Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, HDR. And I found out that I could actually convert my S-Log footage from my FX9 to HDR, and it retains all that data and log all the highlight data and the shadow data. So I was able to push and pull those elements and really edit it in HDR and an HDR timeline on the Final Cut. So if you have the privilege of watching this video in HDR on Glenn's channel, definitely check it out on an HDR screen if you have an iPad and iPhone, or if you just have an HDR TV or HDR monitor. It looks pretty dope in HDR. But yeah, that's all I could think of. If you guys have any other questions for me down below in the comments about this production, what happened, what went into it, feel free to ask away. I'll be live in the comments with you guys and replying to every question, every comment. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching this content. If you guys like this content, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all the good stuff. You guys know the YouTube stuff. But yeah, until next time, guys.